if you only have that, that's what you're going to adapt around. That's the person you will be dependent on. And that's why the pressures of family be so big and so bad, because it's like, I guess it does take a village to raise people. Hey y'all, welcome back to another freaking video. Today I just want to speak on how, like, you know how some of us grew up, and we grew up with who was in the household. We grew up with the village that we had. And the way we turned out was based on how we survived, how we were loved, and the things that we were taught. So, recent events, there's only like, what the fuck was that? There's only like two, like, really important people, I guess you would say, as far as my life. So, immediate family, I could count like 5 people, right? So, I just feel like some of the things we do go through now as adults, or even as children, like, it could have been prevented if the right type of people was around us, if the right type of family was around, if everybody around was doing their job as the family. So what I mean by that is basically like, say if you can't get somewhere, or say if you need to buy something, we had the right type of people in our lives, how easy we can maneuver through things. We had the right type of people teaching us things, how well we would be knowing of things. You get what I'm saying? Like, life could be so much less stressful if we had the right type of people in our lives. And I think that's where everything ends up colliding and messing up, is because once you only have these type of people, you expect more from them and you depend more on these type of people. Whereas, the people who you actually should be pouring to isn't around. And for some of us, the ones we've really depended on have left this earth, had that bond with, you may no longer speak to anymore. So my whole point in saying that is that, I don't know, maybe we need to build better relationships, or bring kids into this world where there's already a foundation, to where you're not stressing about where people gonna go and how you gonna get here and how you gonna pay for that. Like, if you had them type of people, say you are that type of person who gives and gives and gives and helps and helps and helps, but you feel it's not reciprocated. Well, depending on what is what, family's family. We already know that. Family's supposed to have. You're supposed to have the mom, you're supposed to have the dad, at least. Probably the sister, the brother, the granny, maybe a little dog, and then the aunts and uncles, and then the grandparents, right? So say if all of them was playing their part in a good way, you feel me? And not just emotionally about being there, like, and being for you. Like, we get that. But on the physical aspect of actually helping and doing what's needed and being there, like, if everybody grew up with that, just imagine how life would be differently. And I'm just talking on the emotional aspect. Like I'm saying, some people have grown up with that, making sure my mic is on. Some people have grown up with that and turned out complete psychopaths, killing up schools and killing kids and shooting their granny. So I'm not talking on the emotional aspect. I'm talking about physically being there. That's why all his, the crazy kids, they're like, well, he was a good kid. I've always been there and through. Yeah, but you weren't there emotionally. Now, for the people who's not looking emotional, you had to survive. You weren't worrying about feelings because they was weaknesses. You felt as if, you had to guard yourself up because somebody's going to throw something in your face. Wooty woo. Let's speak on non-emotional, and let's speak on the physical, as far as people helping you, people being there, depending on people when you don't have a ride. If you don't have some money, somebody giving that to you. Somebody cooking when you don't have nothing to eat. Somebody doing your hair when you don't have the money to do your hair. Someone buying you a new pair of shoes. Somebody buying you an outfit. Let's speak on that. Because, of course, we all need love. We're all trying to find that bond of companionship. Of course. Relationship, friendship, little kids, anybody. We're all looking for that. But obviously, we'd all, adapt to whatever's around us, adapt to whatever's given to us. Whether we stay the same or not, that's on us. But we end up adapting because we know the people around us is not going to give what we're giving. They're not going to reciprocate the energy, or that people around us. You wouldn't call somebody from that you ain't spoke to in 6 months and be like, "Oh, hey, do." You might if you kept in touch, but if I haven't spoken to you, me personally, I'm probably not gonna like, no bad blood. Is just weird. Like, at that point it seems like you're being used. But I'm saying, what if we need those type of people who will still come in handy? Like, if we grew up and everybody was playing their part, everybody wouldn't be stressed out. Because if everybody's playing their part as the family, as the team, as the group, nobody wants to see somebody unhappy. Nobody wants to take things personally. So that person will be like, all right, I'll do this for you while they go do this. And I'm going to pick up this on the way here so that you ain't got to do it. But when you only got the 2 and the 3, or you only got the narcissistic parents, I'm using examples. It's just you and your sister or something, and they unreliable. Things like that. If you only have that, that's what you're going to adapt around. That's the person you will be dependent on. And that's why the pressures of family be so big and so bad, because it's like, I guess it does take a village to raise people. So for me personally speaking, I consider my immediate family 5 people. And right now, a good 2 of them is not around and 1 is passed. So I'm just saying, you have to adapt to certain things around you. And sometimes it's just words and terms, because it's like, damn, like, I don't want this person feeling like this, but I don't want to people please. But at the same time, if such and such, who's just down the street and who's a part of the union, was doing their part, then this person wouldn't have to go through so much of this. And it's just like, some people just sit back and watch other people fall and turn down, and without saying a word. And they could be blood, they could be non-blood. That's what I'm saying. My whole point in this topic today is to just like, don't let your surroundings, or the people who's around right now, or the people who's not doing for you, who should be, or the people who you've helped and they haven't reciprocated the energy. Don't let that discourage you, because you can meet somebody tomorrow and they'll be more down for you than somebody that you've known for 10 years. And that's all I got to say about that. So I just feel like, of course, we all know that the way we are now has a little, or maybe a lot, to do with how we were raised and who's still around. Because not a lot of, say your car break down or something, you can't really, there's only certain people you can call. Say you ain't got no food. Certain people you can call. Say this about say your house is just caught on fire. Like, it's only a certain amount of people who actually be there. And some people who you consider family, who you can sit on the phone with for hours, or people who, it's just like wear and tear. You get what I'm saying? Because you can cut off as many people as you want to. You can be alone as much as you want to. You still gonna have to adapt on your own. Whether some people is around you playing their part or they not. Like the saying says, you can do bad all by yourself. So I just say, watch the people around you and change them if you can't change them. And also, don't be discouraged because of the way you are, the circumstances that you have, because at the end of the day, people who want to will, and people who is around and down will go up with you, for you, and about you. And that's all I have to say. Like, you know how they be, whoever, what they say, yeah, what one man won't, another one will. Well, it's the same in all different aspects of it. But I just feel like, if it was more resources and families was brought up how they was supposed to be, then it would be less wear and tear on, like, the families now. You arguing about who's gonna pick up the baby from daycare. You arguing about how she gonna get to school. You worrying about how I'm gonna get to work. Then you worried about how we're gonna get some. Like, if somebody's like, oh, here y'all go, I got 10 on the food, I'll pick her up, I'll take her, I'll do her hair. Like, if everybody had that person they could call on, or that friend who's gonna beat her. You get what I'm saying? Everything will be wear and tear okay. Or, not everybody has a backup car sitting in the garage that they could drive when their car break down. Not everybody has that uncle that don't got a job and ain't doing shit every day, but he gets shit done and he do calls and shit. Not everybody has that. You get what I'm saying? So if you feel me, you feel me. This is Marshall Says. I do have a lot to say. I'm saying my opinions are not necessarily facts, but they are true. I see what I see and I call out what I call out. So it's not even really a call out. It's really a discussion. Let's talk about it. Let's really get into it. Like, if the families were born and raised, or if certain people was around in your life, how you placed them to be, and they was playing that part in your life, they was adding something to the table, they was bringing something to uplift your life, not worrying, turning you down, can't help you, won't be there for you, can't talk to you, only use you, only around for this, only want to call the vent. If certain things were placed the correct way, and if we didn't grow up already with the same people here, say you grew up, you had mama, granny, auntie, cousin, everybody around you, then you grow up, you're an adult. I mean, and say as a child you had mama, granny, all them, mama, granny, auntie, uncle, grew up as a child, say auntie and granny passed away, okay, doo is here, but he done moved to Cincinnati. So, okay, say you got to adapt that way. Whereas you did grow up with everybody, some who were dependable ended up leaving your life. Okay, but it's still up to you to put in place. There were certain people who's like, okay, it ain't going to take nobody's spot, but it's like, okay, you kind of remind me of my granny. You kind of like my auntie. Like, help me out with this, and you know a lot about certain stuff like that. If you can put in place on how the people around you work, then that's how it is. Because it's gonna be like a team thing, and it ain't necessarily like about like just helping a person or being there. Even with money, you at least know like such and such can do the networking, and such because he can talk good with people. Then such and such can draw it out because they know how to draw. Plus he's good at math, and I know he can help us flip this by the next 3 months. Like, if everybody was put in place to do their job and to work in place of the people, then life will be less stressful. And I know the place and the point that I am in people's lives. I just feel like sometimes that emotional clash is what gets it. Whereas we could just be helping each other and just do this as one, so nobody is like complaining, is beneficial. It's just the emotional clash that comes with that. So I don't know. Maybe it's people, they say go to therapy. But I just feel like if the right people was put around us, nobody would have that much emotional damage. Nobody would be stressed about worrying about certain things. Because I know my point in people's life. I talk to people. I can make you laugh when you're down. As far as rides, everybody has probably been in my car. Not saying it like that, but like, buying stuff, feeding somebody, like all that, I've been. But as far as like, okay, emotional side, I'm working on myself. I can be that. So I know who I am in people's lives. I don't walk in with negativity and then leave out with everything. Like, I know topic, bet. You need help with something, bet. Let's figure it out. That's just how I feel. But not everybody in your life is going to be that way. So thank y'all for coming to Marshall Says. Me personally, I'm still figuring things out. But like I said, being alone never hurt anybody, but it is nice to have a few around. Can't have everybody around though, because they all don't play a part. And that is my point in that. So follow my Instagram at m.chxl. Follow my writer's page at Marshall Says, because I do have a lot to say. And I'm just saying, we out.